Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe here and subscribe to the Tobin and Leroy show, which you can watch weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the WQM YouTube page. And I appreciate you guys if you would check that on out. Hard Knocks in the books, episode 4. As the Miami Dolphins, if you wanted to torture yourself, you could relive the Monday Night Football fiasco that still seems unbelievable, even though you knew how the outcome was going to go. It was definitely a tough one to check out, but it was a heartwarming episode. I felt like up until that point, you had beautiful things that happened. You had Raheem Mostert at the beach. You had a Mike McDaniel, a beautiful moment with the McDaniels and their adorable family. Little his daughter telling the Hard Knocks crew to take a hike, I thought was great. And then you had Tua, who was being adorable in his quarterback meetings, talking about his Tropic Thunder references on Monday Night Football. They're having a bunch of rascals having a good time. And then they go into some of the practice settings. Mike McDaniel, he's in a meeting. He's down with a 1 seed, 4 or 5 at home to go. It all seems like it's gravy, baby. They're going to put this into overdrive and get it going. And it was an interesting one because they show some of Tua's struggles in practice, which he then was able to wrap into success. So that was interesting to check out. Tua very hard on himself in practice. We got a little bit of a look into that. And Mike McDaniel was, rallies the troops, brings everybody in, says the practice was good. It was one of those guys who said it was good, but we have the opportunity of a lifetime. And his big mistake was having Liam Eichenberg break down the huddle. That was a bad call by Mike McDaniel, but he did. He had Eichenberg out there. So that was kind of a look into how the week was going. And then we get a feature on Alec Ingold. Alec Ingold was the probably the star of the episode. Him and Mostert together, their little bromance. But they show the Alec Ingold Man of the Year feature, which I actually hadn't watched up until this Hard Knock, so that was kind of cool. It was Goosey's, I'm not gonna lie. And him walking his dogs. It was pretty cool that his family had held the secret in that he was Man of the Year nominee for 3 weeks. That's a long kept secret from somebody you love. The next thing they go to is a feature on the Dolphins grass, which kind of just felt like, hey, Hard Knocks, let's do a feature on just how much money Stephen Ross has compared to other owners, because apparently he has a sod farm. He has his own grass farm. And so when you have these MetLife bastards who got Jalen Phillips hurt, and you wonder, can the owners afford, in the most expensive sport in America, can they afford to take care of these players? This was an example of Stephen Ross being like, look how much I care about my players, and I have my own farm for grass. And so it was a cool look. I guess it takes 30 18-wheelers to lay down a field. And then, just out of nowhere, Tua shows up and he's hanging with the groundskeepers. He's like, very interested in the grass getting down. He is watching the whole process. And then Tua goes, and this is just, you want to pinch his cheeks. He's going into this adorable talk with Skylar Thompson and Mike White, trying to teach them lessons on, you guys don't realize how many people seem to work for this franchise, and we need to bring the players over to the stadium employees and get a feel of how much we are relied upon for the business of football. It was sweet. It was a sweet moment for the Dolphins quarterback. So then they go into the meeting with the Titans. They're saying, Mike McDaniel says very blatantly, these guys want to bleep you up. They're a bully type team. They have a 3-mother bleeper rule for Derrick Henry, which didn't seem to work in the red zone very much. They go into then the loss of Jerome Baker, which was actually the first interaction we got with Fangs and McDaniel. I'm pretty sure it was Fangs' Hard Knocks debut. It wasn't very thrilling. Mike McDaniel called him dude. I don't think Fangs like that. They do a cool feature on Duke Riley, who is getting this opportunity at middle linebacker. Mike McDaniel's trying to do the player coach thing where he's related to him. He goes, hey, I was never a play call, I was never a head coach until I got the opportunity. I stayed ready, trying to instill that into Duke Riley. He wanted him to, reflect the defensive intensity that Tua has for the offense. He wants him to be that on defense. So that was that. They have that. Then they go to Campanelli, the linebackers coach. I think that's his name. Who's the Dolphins linebacker? Dolphins linebacker coach. Yeah, Anthony Campanelli. Just want to make sure. How could I forget the guy quoting Lombardi and Universal Languages beat your ass? He was doing some speech like about, it was crazy. He's like crazed and talking about soldiers and volunteering to go out there as opposed to mercenaries who are paid to go out there and take people out. And he's just like, you got to go out there and you got to kill. And everybody's just kind of like, nobody's like very interested. It was like, I was watching this and it's like, nobody's ever interested in any speech. But then like Mike McDaniel, it was my favorite part of the episode because he's like, you got to kill. You got to go out there Monday night and you got to wreck people. Something like that. I don't know. It all gets lost on me. And they just cut to Mike McDaniel, who's just watching this psychotic linebacker coach. You could just see Mike McDaniel's just got his like, just shocked watching this go on. But I think he loved it. So they get to the game and not fun to watch because you just think of all the frustration that you had to endure watching this episode. And, Mostert before the game, he's talking best year of my career. He's talking to HN, best year of my career. I'm superstitious. You see Connor Williams get rolled up on. Bad news today, confirmed Connor Williams torn ACL. He is done for the season. They show Tyreek Hill's ankle getting locked up or getting rolled up on with that horse collar tackle, and then he's saying that it locked up. And they showed the Chubb helmet slam, and he was really mad. You could tell Mike McDaniel was very bothered by this penalty, and still annoys you because they should have not allowed the Titans to score a touchdown on that drive. Alas, they did. And then they go into halftime. It is what it is with the score. Mike McDaniel goes, all this means we got to go earn it. It's an NFL team. And they go to Ingold on the bench, and he goes, the offense, we got to do our part. Defense has been balling. And then Mike McDaniel, it's been very apparent how much Mike McDaniel loves having the cheetah because like immediately he like learns, Cheetah wants to come back. He goes, really? Well, that changes things. You just see like he perked up a little bit, which I found, I have found this interesting. And this has been a fascinating thing with Cheetah because I do feel like this team, like Cheetah still had an amazing year last year. He broke the Dolphins franchise record. I didn't feel like it was as reliant on him this year, which is weird, especially in the passing game, because last year it was basically the Cheetah Waddle show. But also, like, there'd be big games where, like, Trent Sherfield did some big things and has some big catches. And, you get Craycraft involved. Like, I just felt like it was a little bit more diversified. Cedric Wilson was like an afterthought last year. Now, every time he's now making cameos this year, which is kind of weird. But it has been apparent on Hard Knocks just, like, how much Mike McDaniel loves giving the ball to Tyreek Hill. Like, I don't know if it's because Tyreek has taken this next level, which has been something Mike McDaniel's talked about, and just has the offense down to a T and all the plays that he knows down to a T. But that dude, and I know this isn't like that dude just loves throwing to Tyreek. It's very apparent. So got the spark there. Obviously, still a bit of a grind. Then they go into the follies of the Titans, which leads to Mostert getting his 2 touchdowns. He tied the team record, which was cool. And you can see him getting emotional. Mike McDaniel gets emotional. And, so that happens. Then they blow it. Mostert's wife is stunned. She's like, I don't know what the hell just happened, basically. And then the most interesting thing you kind of wanted from this is what was the reaction in the locker room. And Mike McDaniel was just saying, like, hey, it doesn't hurt. Good. Is it annoying? Good. This wasn't our best. But then he's like, if this means we have to go somewhere else, so be it. If this is what catapults it, so be it. So it wasn't a great post-game speech. I'll be honest with you there, but hopefully the Dolphins just learn from this, man. It's still crazy to me they blew this game. But I don't think this episode shined any light necessarily on like why that happened. Which obviously the Dolphins have a big hand in editing this, so they probably would make sure that wasn't out there. But it was just, it's crazy. It was crazy to relive that they blew that game, that happened. And it's just, I think the one thing that's going to be interesting with Mike is how he handles this, because it does feel like everything for him has been put into elimination games. End of the year. There's been so much focus at the end of the year, but they've done a good job of also staying within the moment of the week. And now it's like, is there a way that he can blend the big picture of what he wants with, hey, what they need to do to be in the best position? Because, yeah, I do think that the Dolphins still being at home puts them obviously in the best position, even though they just lost their first home game and had one of the biggest franchise blowouts on the road against bad teams, right? But this is going to be a huge week, man. I really do think that this is going to, even though this Jets team is not like, first prize in anything, they do have talent, especially defensively. It's a team you've beaten already this year, although also in really dumb fashion where like they threw you a pick six at the end of the half for 99 yards. You're going to be doing this with, likely Liam Eichenberg at center, maybe Lester Cotton, we'll see. And this whole season, which has been really, really fun. And I think that they are in a better situation than they were last year for sure. But now it's a matter of, okay, can you shake off the stink that was this collapse, turn the page from immediately, and get yourself right again? Because this is a huge, huge critical win that they need to get coming up against the Jets before they go into this final act of the season against Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo.